Germany, home of one of the most innovative and advanced automotive industries in the world. Truly the pinnacle of quality, technology, and design. But what is it with high end German cars that attract the worst people? How has the label of luxury and class become associated with the stereotype of insolence and recklessness? Is this problem rooted in societal and social issues, or do these machines really have a psychological effect on its operators? Let's take a closer look at one of them and maybe we'll learn more about them. The BMW 5 Series is a long running line of executive sedans made by BMW since 1972. This particular one is a sixth generation sedan known as the F10, made from 2009 to 2017. This generation also came in three other body styles: long wheelbase sedan, station wagon, and abomination. The example we have here is the 523i, made for only two model years from 2010 to 2011. Somewhere below all this,
Plastic crap.
it's powered by the N52 B25 engine, which is a 2.5-liter inline six, making 201 horsepower and 250 newton meters of torque, and it was only available in Asia. The rest of the world got the 523i with the N52 B30 3-liter engine.
Ridiculous covers. I don't know why they even bother.
Power goes to the rear wheels via a ZF 8HP 8-speed automatic gearbox. It's smooth and shifts fast. They used it in a lot of different cars and reliability records are mixed, but they tend to hold up quite well in BMWs. But like the rest of the car, it's not something you'd want to fix out of warranty. But hey, what else were you expecting from a German transmission? The brochure claims it does 13 kilometers per liter, but I will have to politely disagree with that one because I was averaging closer to 10. Perhaps it's just my ZF showing its age. The outside of this car needs no explanation. It looks simple yet classy, and every little detail that you see and touch looks and feels premium. I've always thought this generation of BMW looked good, but I could never really explain why. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, there really isn't any standout aspects of this car's styling that makes it exceptionally good looking. Maybe it's just because I keep comparing it to its Chris Bangle designed predecessor, which isn't exactly the highest bar set in automotive design. Its clean proportions and silhouette makes it rather aesthetically versatile. It can look purposeful in base fleet trim, elegant in luxury trim, and imposing in sport trim. It can also look like a piece of junk covered in fake badges. The inside is pretty much everything you'd expect from a car like this: spacious, comfortable, deteriorating, and full of premium features that will cost a pretty penny to fix when they inevitably break. Stuff like cruise control, dual zone climate control, electric seats with memory position, keyless entry, parking assist, and that iDrive infotainment thing. Is that iDrive thing actually any good? I don't know. I didn't bother exploring too many features in here. I'm no expert on this stuff. If you want to know more about it, go ask Captain Cargo Shorts. All I know is that this isn't the more premium big screen you get in the Highline variants. All of these features may seem fairly standard for people that are used to cars like these, but for someone like me, it really isn't something we experience on a regular basis. Heck, my car's infotainment looks like this. That being said, there are a few features that this car is missing that would make this thing even nicer to drive. This car is an absolute pain to maneuver in tight spaces. It could really use that integral active steering rear wheel steering system. This car doesn't have active dampers, which would help this thing ride and handle even better. This car is also missing the X-Drive all-wheel drive system. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's the most pointless option you could possibly get. What kind of idiot gets a BMW with all-wheel drive, especially in a place like this? It just makes no sense. Two things that bother me about this car. Firstly, as I've mentioned before, this car is pretty difficult to maneuver in tight spaces. I nearly Austin Powers it on many occasions trying to do 3-point turns or parking. And it's not just because of its size and wheelbase either, because other cars with similar dimensions have way better turning radius than this thing. It could really use that IAS thing and those parking assist sensor thingies, what's it called again? Those only come on when it's in reverse or when you manually activate it. I wish it would stay on or at least automatically turn on when it detects something nearby, so you don't need to manually activate it when you reach a tight spot, which you will regularly need to because the multi-story car parks in this country look like this. Secondly, in this glossy piano black interior trim that's nothing but a magnet for fingerprints, there's this cover for the front central cup holders, and when it's high noon, it will reflect sunlight right into your eyes. Because quality control like this is what you'd expect from a company that thinks a design with a 20% approval rating is appropriate to put in production. Now, of course, the main reason I wanted to test this car is to see how it drives and what it's like to live with. I wanted to know what it feels like to be a BMW driver. I wanted to experience BMW ownership. Apart from the repair bills, could there be a reason why BMW drivers behave the way they do? Is there anything about these cars that make people feel like they own the road? And you know what? After living with this car for a few days, I must say that I understand BMW drivers even less. This car is so smooth, quiet, and comfortable that I found myself actually becoming a better driver in this car. This is a car that really rewards smooth and cautious driving. I really cannot fathom how people do the complete opposite in cars like these. That totally defeats the purpose of these cars. The worst part? This isn't even fast. It's a 200 horsepower 1.7 ton car. It takes more effort to drive this thing maniacally than it does to just drive normally. And this isn't even the slowest version of this car. There's still 4-cylinder versions and even diesel 4 cylinders. I don't understand how people speed, swerve, brake check, and road rage in a car like this. When I was driving this car, every fiber in my body was telling me to be as smooth as possible because that's how this car feels like to drive. That's what this car was made for. Maybe it's just because I treasure the experience of driving a car like this more than the people that own these types of cars. Probably because I come from a background where a car like this is an aspiration and not just something you can buy. And you know what? I really enjoyed my time with this car. It was nice to drive and nice to be in. I really didn't want to stop driving this car. Hey, give me a car like this in either this or this, and I'm set for life. And therein lies the problem with these cars. It's not how they drive or how they make the driver feel. It's that the people that drive them don't actually appreciate them. BMW can do everything they can to make this drive as nice as possible, but the average consumer only cares about the badge on the front. This is pretty apparent when BMW makes a car that has no regard to driving dynamics and consumers still gobble it up. BMW owners have become so obsessed with the BMW brand that they have forgotten what makes BMW special. Just look at how many people up-badge these cars. How daft must a person be to look at an expensive car and think it's not enough? You already have so much, yet you feel the need to pretend like you have even more? And who are you fooling? Because anyone that can be duped by a cheap up badge should not be the kind of people you actively seek to associate with. Consumerism and materialism has poisoned us so much that it never feels like you have enough anymore, even if you already have a lot. Yes, I agree. Ambition drives people to do better, and wanting more is perfectly fine with the right mindset. But it just isn't worth disregarding what you already have and bringing misery to yourself and to people around you. Just slow down. You'll get to wherever you're going eventually. Hey, look at the car you're driving. You're already somewhere in life. Where else are you rushing to? Your grave? Because, guess what? You're right. You really do drive the ultimate driving machine. So please, act like it.